X back with another video. In today's video, as Charles suggests, is going to be the top 5 best fights of Naruto. This is just my opinion, and if you're new here, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button, especially if this is your first rodeo. And with that being said, make sure to share the video to a friend who likes what ifs or just anime content in general. And at the time of making this video, I have not hit 5K yet, so make sure to like I said before, and subscribe, of course, as I'm trying to hit 5K by June and 10K by the end of the year. This top 5 video will be my opinion, like I said before, so just take that into consideration when commenting down below your opinion. 5 being the worst, and in my opinion that is, and number 1 will be the best. So number 5 in this video is going to be, and before I say that, just know that my opinion is different than all of yours. I just want to stress this enough, because tackling a subject like this will receive comments on and from who people with different opinions say what their top 5 is and how mine is wrong, right? I would actually like to see what you guys' top 5s are while watching the video or while listening to it after watching my video. So number 5 on this list is going to be from the original Naruto, and that is Naruto versus Gaara and Lee versus Gaara. For me personally, Gaara versus Naruto just hits me a bit differently than Gaara versus Lee does, but they're close enough for me to consider them on even terms, if you will. And the thing that resonated with me the most within this fight first was the factor of hard work and both Naruto and Lee's speeches to Gaara. And with that being said, we now lead into my 4th favorite fight of the series, and that is Sasuke versus Killer Bee. And this is another one that gets tied for me with another fight that Sasuke participates in, that being Sasuke versus Deidara. These two fights just have this special place in my heart, where it's raw battle, and even when there's talking, there's never too much of it, and I just get this hype feeling deep within every time I sit down and watch the fight, as well as the fact that in the Killer Bee fight, we see Sasuke use his Mangekyo abilities for the first time, which is a stellar moment, and for the Deidara one, we see the threat of death on Sasuke's end, as well as Deidara's, but because of, well, heavenly plot armor, this fight is moved down and cannot receive a spot on number 2 or number 1, as if you watch the fight, the suicide bomb that Deidara risked his pride and ego for should kill Sasuke, theoretically, right? But then he summons Manda and just gets saved by a summoning. So for that, it comes in as number 3 on my list. Now my 3rd favorite fight of the series is a legendary one at that. That being Itachi versus Sasuke and Pain versus Naruto. Another one that is tied. And after this, 2 fights, or I guess you could say number 1 spot and number 2 spot will not be tied with any others. And so, yeah, since it's been double since the start of the video, since I've been tying a lot of these, so sorry if you just wanted to see 5 fights, but I guess it's double the treat, if you will. So, Itachi versus Sasuke. This fight had an astronomical amount of build-up, being that ever since we were introduced to the character Sasuke, we knew about this battle and how it was inevitable. So, actually seeing this fight in action and it being executed with just enough battle and talking, and within this fight, it seems like every breath is not wasted and every scene tells a different story. The fight also utilizes many of Sasuke and Itachi's abilities, which now leads into Pain versus Naruto. This fight was, well, amazing, at least to me, because in the village's deepest and darkest moments, when the village was, well, on the verge of destruction from Pain's almighty push, Naruto Uzumaki arrives to save the day. Even after learning Sage Mode, he still doesn't have enough power to defeat Pain, and after witnessing Hinata be injured, which, well, at least to Naruto looked like she had been killed, he gives in to the monster within, the QB. But the part of this fight that spoke volumes to me as a person was the cycle of hatred. The cycle of hatred speech, that is. And seeing the reaction that Naruto had, realizing that his own village contributed to this cycle, and how the cycle creates people like Pain. But even after Naruto hears this, he vows to destroy the very same cycle Pain spoke of. And while Pain had spoke about this cycle, Naruto had no idea how he would find an answer to it, but after Naruto defeats Pain, and when he's face to face with Uzumaki Nagato, the being who created Pain, he has an answer. He has an answer for what Pain spoke of so highly, Pain's ideals, and that is forgiveness is key, and the choice you'll always have. You either forgive or let hate and pain immerse yourself. So, if that were the case, Naruto wouldn't kill Pain, because getting revenge would mean that Naruto had to come to the cycle himself. And now, spots 2 and 1. I'm also going to do an honorable mentions after I talk about these spots. Okay, so I don't know, this is a bit obvious, but these are it's just kind of obvious for me. Number 2 is Naruto versus Sasuke Part 1. And Naruto versus Sasuke Part 2, or Shippuden, is going to be the number 1 spot. First, I'll go into Part 1. This fight, at least to me, was Naruto wanting to save a friend. And my only qualm for this fight was that Naruto had to be petty and scratch Sasuke on his forehead protector. But even this slash on Sasuke's forehead showed to me as a viewer that Sasuke had finally entered the darkness himself. And the fight in Shippuden, well, this fight for me was breathtaking, having more than 4 years of build-up, and to me showing that this was the battle that decided not only Naruto and Sasuke's feud, but also the shinobi world entirely. So when watching this fight, I watched each attack closely, because at any moment, the tide of battle could shift with ease, and that also means that the world and era of shinobi was at stake throughout the battle. So overall, this fight didn't hit that spot. It kept me on the edge of my hair, or my chair, if you will, more than any of the other fights, and my hair stood up as I watched it, because ever so slightly I felt a thrill. This anime, Naruto, is one of my favorite for its raw and uncut fights, its stellar moments. This fight alone taught me many life lessons that I carry on to this day, like to work hard, and for the Gaara versus Rock Lee to never give up and always push past my limits. And now we go on to the honorable mentions. These are honorable mentions that weren't able to get up to that top 5 to top 10 spot, because I added ties. But all of these fights are ones that were able to hit that special spot for me, or were very meaningful in my heart, or just in my head, right? Neji versus Naruto. This fight was amazing. The whole concept of overcoming destiny was not only a great one, but it was also a great fight, and gave me personally a great life lesson. Kimimaro versus Lee, Naruto and Gaara. This fight lended its way into Sasuke versus Naruto, which is my second favorite fight of the series, so it just gets that spot. Madara versus the Allied Shinobi forces. This battle was just, to say it plainly, badass. At least for me, as someone who has hinted at as being this god of Uchiha, Madara, by not only Kabuto, the Nine Tails himself, but also the statues which tell tales of their own. But for somebody who was hinted at as being this god, like I said before, of Uchiha, it really felt like something to me, actually witnessing Madara Uchiha's power. Madara was so hyped up, and truly, I was curious of how powerful this guy was. So really seeing it in action was breathtaking, and I thought this rush, how would the Allied Shinobi's forces tackle this one Edo Tensei? We then see him get powerful, but we won't go into that. Madara versus Hashirama. This fight was amazing as well, and how just enough build-up, it just had just enough build-up for me, which let off a surreal effect between best friends. Similar to Naruto versus Sasuke, but different in the way that why the battle occurred. And what they were each fighting for. Is Hashirama, at least from what I know, was fighting to save his village in a way, and Madara was fighting to defeat Hashirama, his rival, and then no longer have anyone in his way to launch Infinite Tsukiyomi. He disagreed with the ninja system. He disagreed with reality. At least from what I gathered. And Sasuke and Naruto's fight against Orochimaru in the Forest of Death, which I thought was a bit edgy, but the raw fighting and threat level for Team 7 made me feel like there was something on the line. And last but not least in the honorable mentions is Kakashi versus Obito. This fight could easily make it on my top 5 or top 10, as well as the fact that It truly made me forget that the world was on the verge of death from Obito and Madara at this point. And when I say no words were wasted, no word was wasted. If you watch the fight, there's barely any talking, and most of it is just fighting. And if this had build up, it could definitely be a contender in my top 5. And I'll go over the list again. 5th was Gaara versus Lee and Gaara versus Naruto. 4th was Deidara versus Sasuke and Sasuke versus Killer Bee. 3rd was Itachi versus Sasuke and Naruto versus Pain. 2nd was Sasuke versus Naruto as kids in part 1. And 1st was Naruto versus Sasuke as teenagers, as 16 in Shippuden. This was my first video like this, so tell me how I did. And other suggestions, I think my next one that I may do is the top 5 arcs in Naruto, and then maybe the top 5 characters, at least in my opinion. But either way, I hope all of you have had a amazing day. And with that being said, make sure to like, share the video to a friend who likes what ifs or just anime content in general. Check my Discord server out down below. Comment down below what are suggestions as well as video suggestions, and subscribe as I want to hit 5K by June and 10K by the end of the year. And as always, this has been RamiX, and RamiX